We're doing pretty well. I mean, all things considered, right? No one expected this thing to happen. It pretty much wiped out all my income, every source of my income immediately. So, like, yeah, like you introduced me, I work at a hair salon called Spanish Fly in downtown Sacramento. I've been there for like 14 or 15 years. But my wife and I own a hair salon as well called L23, and then where she works at. And then I own a music venue downtown called Holy Diver, which is closed at the moment. And yeah, and I'm a musician too, so I've not played any shows. So,
So in other words, you're getting your butt kicked by all this
yeah,
COVID-19, even
yeah,
though you haven't actually caught COVID-19, it's still
definitely,
affecting you.
it's definitely affecting me. My wife and I are very, you know, special in the sense that we're both self-employed people. So
Yeah.
there isn't any income coming in. Like there's no, we have no unemployment. We signed for some loans. None of that happened. Yeah, we're just in a worst case scenario, basically being self-employed, both of us. But we'll manage to make it through.
Yeah, that's a rough spot, but there are some things that people can do right now, right, to help support people like you and your wife who are self-employed. You own your own businesses, and you guys provide a service that some of us find essential, right? I mean,
It'll be to see when this is over who's coming into the salon, or it's interesting to see who's getting haircuts. You can probably look at the politicians online and see if
yeah, right. Right. I was watching Gavin Newsom yesterday as I'm trying to make my hair look somewhat presentable now. And I saw that he's got a nice haircut going on.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. The president also has his hair looks immaculate, or for whatever that might be worth. So, but with that being the case, like, do you have any suggestions for, especially like, a lot of men and women dye their hair either because they want to change the color, or maybe they want to look a little younger and cover up some of the gray, right? So what are your tips and suggestions on that? I know I saw you post a couple weeks ago about like, hey, don't go on Amazon and buy that Just for Men and Clairol because of this. And maybe you want to explain that a little bit more. And
Yeah,
why.
you know, supporting small businesses is always key, especially in a time like this, right? Without supporting the small businesses now, we won't be here when this is over. Those places will close down. Sure, you can go to Target or you can go to Amazon and order that box color, but that stuff's not really good for your hair. It's pretty terrible. Hairstylists like myself would know the best color and best developer and best products to use in your hair. Especially if I've been doing your hair for a while, I'm probably really familiar with your hair. And I know what you like and what you don't like. So that information is key, and you should probably contact me or your hairstylist when you want that touch up done or information about your hair. So, like what I was saying in that post was, contact us. There might be some solutions. So there's products available for color touch-ups. Sometimes you can get those like spray-on things or some color chalks or whatever if you're just looking to color it for a little bit and manage to get through a couple weeks or something. Or I know a lot of stylists, including myself, I'm probably, I don't think we're technically supposed to do this, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm doing touch-up kits. So like I'm offering your color that's made for you, that you've been doing with me for a while, and your developer. I give them like a little bowl, a brush, gloves, a cap, some Vaseline for your hairline, and then like some like instructional videos that I made as well. So how to apply the color, or have like your spouse apply the color, or like the child or your friend or whatever, or yourself if you're all alone. So yeah, and I'm doing those on discounted prices, so it's definitely a lot cheaper than if you were to come into the salon. But it's maybe a little bit more money than a box color, but it's gonna be a way better product. You're not getting like a cheap box color that potentially is gonna make my job harder later when you're coming back into the salon and you're like, oh, this totally screwed my hair up, or I got the color completely wrong. So yeah.
Yeah, so you're doing videos, right? You said,
Yeah.
are you delivering those to your clients on like a thumb drive, a CD, something like that? Are you sending them, so you texting it to them? I mean,
Yeah,
it's a lot of personalization, right?
yeah. So I made like a YouTube where I have a YouTube account. So I made a video of me coloring my wife's hair, which she needed it done. And I colored her hair, and while I was doing it, I was giving like a very detailed description of what I was doing, which manages to cover most of my touch-up clients, how I do their color touch-ups. So I send that, and then I found some other videos that are just useful videos if you're trying to apply color yourself. Some different things that I just saw useful online, and I made a couple other small little clip videos of products and some clip videos of what's in your touch-up kit and how to apply your color and stuff like that. So I send that to my clients just through a text message, so they at least have some knowledge of what they're getting into, and then just an open conversation with them as well. So if they have any questions or concerns or need more information, I'm available. So most of this stuff, it's not you can do it. You can do it on your own. It might not be the best, but it's more down to the products and stuff, and also like we're offering products, like your shampoos, your pomades, your hairstyling stuff, all that stuff. We have all that stuff still. And when you would come to the salon and buy it from us, we're still selling it to you. So, if you need products, don't go on Amazon and order it. Just contact your hairstylist or through Facebook or Instagram or whatever, or their phone number if you have it, and ask them if they have products for sale. Most likely they do, and they probably would love to sell it to you.
Yeah, so we were talking before we went live about all the restrictions that are going on right now, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I've seen on social media, whether it be Instagram or Facebook, or Twitter or whatever, right, that there's a lot of stylists out there who are kind of offering in-home consultations, if you will, and there's some restrictions on that. What are those restrictions, and how should people be careful at this moment in time about doing that? Like, obviously, you don't want to go with somebody you just see posting on like Facebook Marketplace, right?
Yeah.
What are some of your suggestions that would protect not only you as the hairstylist, but like me as a client?
Yeah, I'm not really like taking new clients during this time. I'm not, I mean, if somebody wants maybe a consultation or a video consultation, I could do that, but I'm not going to someone's house and cut their hair that I haven't seen before. I'm not going to color someone's hair that I haven't seen before. I'm, just offering my services to my clients. And I feel like if you're a hairstylist out there, or if you're a client looking for a hairstylist, you should contact the hairstylist you normally see, or someone that you may know personally, because I wouldn't go to someone's house or something that I wouldn't know. You don't know if they're licensed or not or anything either, And as for the hairstylist too, like, yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely need to be careful of clientele too. I mean, there is a sickness out there, and we should be sheltering. So, I'm trying to limit my services to very distance oriented services, like dropping off things. So I have cleaned up some men's haircuts like around their ears and stuff, but we were totally masked up and everything. So, but definitely we need to be careful. That's the most part.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned like cleaning up men's haircuts, right?
Mhm.
I can use me an example. I mean, we know each other pretty well.
Yeah.
We chat all the time and stuff like that. My hair grows like a weed. I've got three boys. Two of the three of them, their hair grows like a weed. What
Yeah.
suggestions do you have like that to be able to do at home without like screwing up a haircut or something like that, and then having to go back, right? Because I like going to the barber shop with like the razor cut and everything like that. What suggestions do you have at home that somebody could do that it may cause a little bit of a rift down the line when you go back? But I mean, right
Yeah.
now, the governor said potentially until the end of May. Like by the end of May, I'm going to have a afro way out here, man. So,
I
what
think
are your suggestions on doing some stuff just to keep hair trim and need, that personal grooming aspect going for both men and women,
Yeah.
if they don't have somebody like you who they can pick up the phone and call?
That's a good question, actually. Really haven't thought too much about that. Maybe I should make a video of some like ways to like clean up hairlines, like just at least around the ears and the neckline. Because I feel like a lot of times, like a lot of guys will ask their wives, like, "Hey, can you just clean up my neck?" And then the wife doesn't know what she's doing, and then their hairline gets like way up to here. I've seen I've seen it in the
Or
salon.
shag it, right?
Yeah, it's just like it's like, oh, I messed up a little bit, so they go up a little higher, a little higher, a little higher, and they go, oh man, I gotta shave my head. I've seen it happen even when the salons are open. So maybe I should make a little instructional video of just how to like look at a men's hairline in the back and ways to clean up. But I mean, for the most part, unless you have like clippers and know how to use clippers, it makes it really difficult to clean up hair. Like there's no real easy way of saying like, hey, just take off a little bit on the sides and you should be good. It's definitely more there's more to it than just that, and that's why hairstylists are important people. Like if our job was that easy, we wouldn't be around. So
Are you saying that hairstylists are essential? Just
I can
asking.
it's to cutting hair, I guess.
Yeah,
Hair's not the COVID-19 did not stop hair growth. Let's just say that, and it
that's
did
right.
not. Yeah, it didn't stop hair growth. So your hair is gonna grow. You're gonna need touch ups, and you're gonna need haircuts.
That
So
that is definitely not a side effect that they've been throwing. That COVID-19 will stop your hair; it will stunt it from growing.
no,
Uh, uh,
definitely not.
yeah. So let me ask you this, Anthony. Let's say that somebody goes onto your YouTube channel and they really like what you've shown and that type of stuff out there. Is there a way for them through that YouTube channel or something else to like give you a tip? I mean, because let's face it, right? Hairstyles a lot of time, you're renting a space that you're cutting hair in, right? You're really you're making a little bit of money off of the actual service that you're doing, but you're really making a lot of money off the tips, right? Is there a way for people to be able to get that out to somebody like you or your wife or anybody else in your position? And how are you putting those things out there in a tactful way? For people to realize, like, that's how I'm making my money.
Wait, say that one more time. I'm not sure I understood the question. Like you're saying,
Yeah.
how I?
So basically, what I'm saying, um, are you making it so that people can like give you a tip via
Oh,
Venmo or that?
yeah,
And how, if so, how are you doing it in a tactful way instead of being like, "Hey, tip me"? Like, I mean,
yeah. Okay.
musicians, right? Musicians will put a big jar on the table and say, "Tips here. You want us to do a song? You better tip me before you do it." How do you do? And some people get turned off by that, right? How do
Yeah.
you do that as a musician and be as a stylist in a tactful way so that and so people realize that? I mean, that's how a lot of people in the service industry are really making their money, right? Is via
Yeah.
tipping.
Yeah. So for now, like I really haven't went out and asked for like tips per se, but I have contacted most of my clients. Like during this whole process, like I was canceling clients, obviously, or trying to. Hello.
Yeah, you're good.
Or cancel clients or reschedule clients during this time. So what I was doing is just like texting them and going like, hey, you're we're not gonna be able to see you this week. Do you want to reschedule for a few weeks out? Because at the beginning of this, we didn't really know when the end was, and we were kind of just basing it off the fact they said we're gonna reopen April 7th or 3rd, or I forget what it was, but. So I was rescheduling people out, and a lot of my clients were like, "Hey, I feel bad that I missed the appointment. Obviously, can I just pay for the missed appointment, or can I prepay for my future appointments?" So at first I was like, "Oh, I didn't even really think about that." So a couple of my clients were very generous in offering me like, "Hey, I'll prepay for my whole family's next haircut or next two haircuts," and they just Venmoed me the money for those. And I've had a lot of clients hit me up and say that they understand my current situation and they feel bad. They've been thinking about me or praying for me or whatever. And yeah, they've offered to prepay or just tip me a future tip or whatever. So that's really cool and that's really generous. I know a lot of hairstylists as well to generate income during this time period have offered um, like gift card services, basically just prepaid, services. So, you can go, I'm offering like you know, a gift card for $150 worth of service, but it's only going to cost you $100 or $120. So you're giving like a prepaid discount service, so you can generate some income now while we're all in this waiting period. So I haven't done that per se, but I know a lot of other stylists have. I've just taken some Venmo prepaid haircuts and services though.
Very cool. So, like, if people are out there watching and they are looking for a hairstylist, Anthony's cut my kid's hair. He's cut my wife's hair. He styled my wife's hair. He does a great job. Just changing track a little bit. You talked about you and your wife. Both are business owners, right? You're self-employed, but you also have two kids. One is in school. One's going to be in school next year.
Yeah.
How's that going for you guys? And I mean,
Yeah, that's a conversation, right?
right. But I mean, how's that going with trying to generate some income and then also trying to help your oldest son through school? I mean, I know that our kids go to the same school, so I've been really blessed that I mean, we were sent home, the kids were sent home, you're going to do distant learning, and it was like the next day, pop, you got stuff to do, get it done today. And that's been awesome. But it's also been a struggle, right, with the work-life balance. Right now it's spring break, so you guys would probably be off I know we would have been off somewhere for a couple of days doing something for spring break. But how is that working in your life right now, especially as a self-employed entrepreneur who's trying to make side hustles right now to keep the lights on?
I gotta be honest, man. Distance learning was a challenge. I don't know how you guys are dealing with, but I mean, we were fortunate. Like I've talked to other people that have their kids in school, even in the same grade, and they just don't go to the school our kids go to. And they were like just off. They weren't really. There was no homework or anything like for weeks. They're just starting distance learning now, and I'm like, oh, my kids started distance learning straight away. Like, our teacher was sending home packets that Monday or whatever day they came home from school. So I think what it is finding the new routine is always the most difficult part. At least for me, being as how busy I was before, running, working all day in the hair salon, running the club at night, booking and playing shows for my own band, and being a dad and being a husband. Now I'm like, oh wow, I don't have any emails to answer. I just have to just hang out. It took me a minute to find my new routine, which I'm still trying to find. But no, distance learning was definitely challenging. And yeah, we're on spring break right now, obviously. Same with you. We were supposed to be in Hawaii this week. So that kind of stings. But yeah, I don't know. It's been challenging, but I feel like we're finding our groove now. And like I said, finding ways to be creative and generate income by setting up touch-up kits. My kids trying to come in the room. Setting off touch-up kits, contacting clientele, asking how they're doing, asking if they need anything from me, product-wise, excuse me, product-wise or information about their hair. I find that most people are just pretty generous during this part, especially people that are working. They appreciate what I've been doing for them all these years, so they're being very generous with me and like getting me some help income-wise during this time. So I've been pretty fortunate. Same with my wife. Like we went out yesterday and delivered some kits, and a lot of people were like overpaying for it, and just being just over generous, which we really appreciate, especially right now. I mean, we're making a little bit of money, but nothing near as what we were making before. It's a fraction of what we made, but at least it's a way for me to go get groceries and not, totally just destroy my savings account. So,
right. I mean, I guess the one positive thing we're seeing about this whole COVID-19 shelter in place is that people are actually starting to be nice and kind to each other again.
Seriously, I find it,
right.
But yeah.
They don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. They don't care if you're you're a Christian or a Muslim. Everybody's kind of getting a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people are starting to get along, which I think is a really good thing.
I found that honestly too. I've seen a lot of people just being really, really nice and over generous, and it's been cool in that regard. It's another weird thing I just noticed yesterday. I took my kids were in before we were live. You saw them coming in and want to go skateboarding, and we've been riding a lot around the neighborhood and getting them, outdoors as much as we can, right? Because it's like you can't just sit inside. I mean, the first couple of days we were inside, I felt like I was just getting depressed. Plus, it was raining and everything. I was like, man, this is terrible. But now that the sun is shining, we've been outside as much as we can, going outside, just playing and out in the backyard or just riding bikes around the neighborhood. And I grew up skateboarding, so I have skateboards in the garage, and my kids found those skateboards. They've seen me riding before, but yesterday they were just like, let's go skateboarding. So I put them on the skateboards, which my wife probably was very hesitant about. She's always afraid they're gonna like fall on their face and knock all their teeth out, which could happen. But yeah, we rode skateboards for like 2 hours. I'm so sore today.
It's amazing. My kids didn't want to learn how to ride their bike until all this stuff happened. And now they're like, can we go riding our bike? Well, mom and dad have work we have to do.
Yeah.
I mean, we're trying to keep it so we got food coming on the plate here too. So let's we understand. I get that totally though. It's great to see kids are going back to that stuff that we did as kids, right? Going outside and playing and riding skateboards, riding bikes.
I did a little bit, but now they're totally out there. Like my little one took his training wheels off his bike 2 days ago and was jumping on a skateboard yesterday. So it's been really, it's been hard though. Yeah. I mean, going back to what we said earlier, like, especially with the distance learning thing, it's like, it's hard to keep them indoors and then try to contact clients and do work, and then try to teach them as well. It's like, oh man, it's like my wife we try to split it up. Like she takes an hour in the morning, so that way I can get some things done, maybe work out a little bit, or make some phone calls, try to generate some income, and then we switch so she can go do what she needs to do, maybe shower or work out, do some laundry, contact clients, and then it's just constantly trying to find that balance, which is proven to be very difficult, but we're managing to figure it out, I guess.
Yeah. So one more question for you, because I want to be fruitful of your time here, because I know you've got other things to do. So you were at Golden One Center for the Kings game, right? I remember texting with you and Sullivan, and you both were like, just sat down to watch the game, and then they canceled the game. How was that like being there? And what was going through your mind when they were like, all right, hey, thanks for coming, leave?
Yeah, it was very surreal. Because like right before that game, it was when they announced that they was Rudy, what's that guy's name? Rudy Gobert was like at that press conference, and he was like saying that COVID-19 was fake, whatever. He was coughing on the mics and touching everything. And then they canceled. They postponed the season, but the Kings game was going to be the last game prior to the pause in the season or whatever, and it was going to be aired on ESPN. So I actually showed up early because I thought the game started at 7:05, but it was 7:30. So I was there for a while, and I got there like 6:45 or something. So me and my son Gianni were cruising around, got some food, and like checking everything out. And I was explaining to him what was going on. He's 8 years old, so he doesn't fully understand. He does now, but at the time he was like, "What?" And so, it was. We sat down in our seats, and the game starts to go. They do the whole intro and everything, and everybody's getting all energized. But there's a lot of talk between people in the stands about what's going on. And then I remember I saw them bring out the American flag to start the national anthem, and then I saw the people like kind of hustle back into the hallway, and I'm like, something's not right here. And then I saw some players on the floor, and then the players sort of left, and it was like 7:35 or whatever, 7:40. I'm like, something's not happening. And then they announced that they were canceling the game, and like the crowd was just booing and very sort of they weren't happy. Let's just say that. It was weird, but I was like, man, I can't believe that this sickness is canceling all these sporting events. It didn't seem right, especially at the time. It's like, wow, there's a lot of money that people are missing out on. I can't believe the NBA would cancel it because of like the flu. That's what I thought then, actually. Now I know a lot more. We all know a lot more about what's really going on. But
Yeah, a month ago we all thought it was just a really bad flu that people were overreacting to, right?
yeah,
And I think some of that's probably because we got really weird numbers out of China, only like 4 or 5,000 deaths and 80,000 people affected, and they've got 3 billion people living there.
and it was only really affecting like the elderly or whatever, and which we find out it's like that's not true either.
Right. Right. It'd be nice if China would actually share real numbers so that the rest of the world could be safe too. But that's a totally different story for a different time, right? So, hey, man, I really appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I know I want to be cognizant of your time. I know your kids are dying probably for you to take them out skateboarding again. But I think I really want to thank you for sitting down and doing this today. I want to remind people what Anthony said earlier. Hey, the small businesses out there, guys like Anthony, like his wife, support them. If you've been going to them for a long time, pick up the phone, call them, see how they can help you during these times. You have any other thing that you want to throw into that, Anthony, before we sign off?
People can contact me if people have questions about anything too. If you're my client or not, I'm willing to answer questions or help people out. Anthony Paganelli, Paganelli. I'm sure Michael will probably have a link to my name on when he puts this out on Facebook. But people want to contact me for any questions or concerns, I'm willing to. I got nothing but time, so hit me up. Just support small business because otherwise they won't be there.
Yeah, and you know what? 90% of the small businesses that I've ever met, and I worked for a chamber that 95% of our businesses members were small businesses. They're all really good people. They're all really good guys, like Anthony, like his wife. They're out there trying to do their thing that they're good at. So make sure you support them. I'll make sure that when that I put contact information for Anthony on Facebook, you can go to his Facebook profile. He's really good about getting back to people pretty quickly, or at least he is with me. But we plan a lot of things together, so maybe that's why. But yeah, I mean, thanks again, Anthony. Really appreciate it. Support local businesses. Support your local hairstylist. Anthony gave a ton of ways to do that. Whether it's calling up and getting those kits, it's finding out if they've got little tutorial videos. If you know them really well, if they may pop by and clean up around your ears, your neckline, if you're a guy, because you don't want that ear line that comes all the way up here like this. I've seen that before. So just make sure you're supporting the local businesses. Unfortunately, like bars can't be open right now, but it's the same thing with local restaurants. I mean, we work together on an event that we deal with a lot of local restaurants, and I've seen a lot of them are struggling right now. Buy those gift cards, buy gift cards from people like Anthony, use them in the future. Christmas time's coming up quicker than we think of. And that's a great gift. I mean, people kind of complain about gift cards, but I think it's going to be really cool this year to give a gift card because it shows you were supporting business during this time.
Probably one of the best ways for people to generate income without actually having to produce an actual product. I mean, when everything gets rolling later, they're going to be hopefully slamming in their businesses. So buying a gift card now would definitely generate a little bit of income to keep them open, to pay a bill, maybe pay an employee. So definitely would be helpful.
Yeah, very cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Anthony. You have a great day. Have fun with your kids. Teach them some cool tricks on their skateboards. Don't let them knock their teeth out. You can always buy a mouthpiece on Amazon. Just have them put a mouthpiece in. That might save it a little bit, right? But man, I really appreciate the time. Best of luck to you. I know we'll be texting and chatting sometime soon. But be safe, and hopefully we get to see each other in person again soon and actually have a cup of coffee together as opposed to a virtual cup.
Yeah. Cheers.
All right, man. Have a great day.
Later.
All right.